Tweezer's channel. Myself, Alan, from the channel, and my opponent, Pat Mullen.
Hello, everybody. So let's see. Where do we leave? Oh, let me make sure I can start hearing playback. Yeah, I hear playback. We're fine. Let me mute it. Mute it. And
yes,
so we left off. We had left off in the middle of an operation.
Yes, that's
US
right.
Search and Destroy. And
yes, I just retreated.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
It was all up in the sort of disputed area of Cambodia. And
yeah.
You were going to pursue.
Yeah, and as we see here, so I could get to you, but I can't take a straight path, right? I've got to backtrack with the already activated units, right?
Yeah, you got to come around.
The guys who are air mobile would kind of have to go, like, kind of stick towards the border there, which is interesting. The furthest hex I can actually physically move into with both these guys is here.
Yes.
Because it's 2 from a disputed hex.
Yes.
So let's see what I'm gonna do here. Speaking of that, I have 6 pursuit. Yes. So I think we're gonna go half 2.
Hi Jordan. Hi. Thanks for joining us.
2, and then that's 3.5.
Yep.
4. And a half, and land there for 6. I'm not going to put a marker on him because that uses all his pursuit.
Yeah.
And all he has left is organic. But this guy is going to, so everybody, it costs 6 movement points for me to get to that hex. So we're going to send this guy. And 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 these 2 guys kind of are left on the ground, and we're gonna do something else with everybody else here. So this guy, it's time to go back to South Vietnam. So he's got 10 pursuit. So he's gonna go half 1. And notice I can't, and then I can go half because I'm still 2 within 1 of that hex.
Yeah.
But the problem is getting to this hex is an issue. So what we're going to do instead is go half 1, and then we're going to spend 4 for 5 to kind of go jungle to jungle there. So that's 5. And then we're going to go half 6, half. He's just going to stay there. This guy's just going to walk. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Move there. And this guy, what was he? So that was 5, and then that's and a half, 6 and a half, 7 and a half, 8, and then that will then be 9.5. I'm gonna keep moving him, and I'll end my movement there, which gives you a reaction if you want to take it.
It does. And
hello?
Yep.
All right.
Thinking.
Sure.
Thinking. No, I think I'm good.
All right. And this guy's going to go half 1, 2.5, and then 4.5, 5, land there for 6, 7. And we're going to make note. Now that I've kind of done all the pursuit movement, let me do this. Clone. And we're going to make note here. Oh. No, I don't want to clone. What's the function? Bracket. Close bracket. So let me delete that. So that guy's got 1 left, including his organic. And decrease, decrease, decrease. This guy here has 3 left, if you recall. So we're going to do that. Stack them all up. They're all going to be sitting there on that jungle hex on the border. And now we're going to call in some offensive reserves. So probably be the last. Well, we want to block you off. That's what we want to do. So we're going to activate this guy. And he's going to go. No, we can't block you off. So it's kind of pointless bringing him in. But what we do want is more combat firepower. So as I look at myself here, I've got 7, 16, I got 29 firepower and 3 ground that I want to attack with. So to get that 29, I'm going to need a lot more ground. And I want better odds. So we're going to activate some dudes. We're going to activate. He's in unlock. He's doing nothing. So we're going to activate him. He's going to go 2, 3. And 2. We're going to activate him. And he is going to go 2, 4, 5, 6. And I'd like to get another unit in there. Guy. And he is going to go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now I've got 12 attacking and I can bring 36 firepower. And I know you've got 12 ground. So for 12, I'm kind of in the neighborhood. With the 29 I have now, and 12 gets you to 41. I want to do better than that. If I can get you to 56, that would need 44 firepower. So, and the next break number is 43. But I think I can really hurt you here. So I'm kind of going all in.
Right.
So we are going to activate this 105, which is going to go there. We're going to attack this 105, activate this 105, which is going to go there.
Yeah.
So now we're at 37. And guess we'll got a brigade headquarters. Activate this brigade headquarters, which is going to go there, which gets me that 56. So, but now I only have 12 guys attacking, so I'm going to need to bring 44 to bear, which is really 45. I need 3 more combat factors. So we're just going to bite the bullet, activate these guys, and send them in. All right, so here we go.
Okay.
So this has become a very big brouhaha in Tainan province. So I have 16 attacking.
Right.
Plus your 4.
Yeah, my 4.
That's going to put me on the 20.
Zoom in here.
Yep. And then you've got 12 plus my 44 is going to put you on the 56.
Yep.
So I have 16 plus 44 equal, no, I've got a little more than 44. 20, let's see, I've got 4 and 9 in this hex, so that's 13, and then I got 3 more guys attacking. So that's, yeah, it's 16. Yeah, I'm 20. So I'm 16 plus the 44. What's 16 and 44? 60? Right. So 60 divided by your 16.
Mm-hmm.
It is a 3-1.
3-1, yeah.
So we're on a 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
You are in jungle.
Yep.
But offensive reserves defer to the pursuit of, whatever attacker's attacking.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a +3 pursuit.
Yep.
Because of that one guy.
Yep.
And we already lost air mobile in this operation, so we can't lose it again.
Okay.
So that's that.
Right.
And we roll and resolve. We like. Okay. So
9.
we get a 5 pursuit.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Firepower starts to really add up.
Mm.
So let's see here. Place pursuit mod. Oh, don't want to do that. We get 5 more. And I'll get rid of these outdated. So we each take losses. So I'm going to take 1 replacement point, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And boop, which is going to give you a victory point.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to lose 9. And this is when you could either lose replacement points,
yes,
which you don't have enough to fulfill.
That's right.
Or you could lose units and start basically breaking down those regiments.
Right. I can't disperse.
Yes, but when you do that, you want to do it breaking down the regiment.
Okay.
And I'll explain why. Right.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
So, and that's the way it works with NLF VC regiments. You've got to, when you decide to disperse, what you do is so let's do this.
Okay.
It's the way you want to maximize your victory points, correct?
Yes. Well.
Okay.
Ideally.
I'm just yes. So you're gonna lose 5. Okay. So
right.
You're at 0. You're at 0.
Okay.
Now, pick one of those regiments that you want to break down.
Okay. So we'll take
your
that
choice.
We'll take the 165th, yeah.
Okay, so the 165th is going to take the hit. Let's move him out of the hex there and put him on like that red Ho Chi Minh Trail hex.
Sure.
All right. So you now need to make up 4 losses. So what we're going to do is he's getting broken down. So go into your little secret cabinet and you want to pull 3 random battalions.
Okay.
Place them in the hex. I can't see them. Place them in the target hex, but place them hidden.
Okay. Yeah.
Like you're drawing reinforcements, or you're drawing to place,
yeah.
right?
I couldn't remember whether they come out hidden. So yeah. Okay.
So 3 of them. And you need to lose enough strength points to get 4, which is the deficit you owe for the combat.
Yeah.
So first thing is I get 3 victory points for breaking down a regiment. I'm going to take them now so we don't forget.
Right.
1, 2, 3. Okay. And then, all right, so now you've got those battalions. So you need to lose 4 points worth.
Yes.
And so what you're going to do is select which ones you're going to lose for that and flip them and show them to me, and then they go to the dead pool.
Okay, but all 3 would have to die, wouldn't they? Because that's 3 steps.
Not steps, strength points.
Oh, strength points. Oh.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Ah. Oh, right. Okay. Right, so I'll reveal that one. And
okay, so send him to the dead pool. And that guy to the dead pool. Perfect. Right.
Okay, done. Right.
Right. So that gives me 2 more victory points.
Mm-hmm.
And now, and that's how you live off the land as the VC, right? Yeah, you know, right. Okay. So in future combats, you could like disperse battalions, and you get more replacement points that way, etc. But that's, as I euphemistically call it, living off the land.
Yeah. No,
so we'll send the 165 to the dead pool as well. He's, you know, but we counted him separate. That's why we're doing. It's become necessary to do VPs as we go here, right? All right. Okay. So, and so that's that. And now, with that one guy left that I don't know who the hell he is, you may retreat.
Okay. So, let's get the target hex on top.
It'll cost you 3 to get to the road,
Yeah.
and then you could move an extra 1, I believe.
Yeah.
And then if you move that extra 1, I believe you're scot-free.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, because I can't get there. Right.
No.
Right. So go ahead and hide that guy who was the target. All right. Okay. And now we conduct our pursuits. So let's see here. I'd like to get him home. Half 1. Half 2. Half 3. And we're going to go land there for 5. You can get a reaction move with that ops complete guy if you want.
No, I'm cool. I'm cool with him.
All right. And what other brigade headquarters do I have here? I've got the 2nd, the 25th. We're just going to go half 1, half 2, half 3. You're going to land there. You can react.
No, I'm fine.
All right. And bring the minions of the 173rd. is going to land there, along with their HQ. And second of the second. Where is the second of the second headquarters? Oh, way down south. Okay. So let's see here. He's going to go half one, half two, half three, half four, half five, and a half, and he's just going to land there. And half one. This guy's going to go land with this guy. You get another shot or a reaction move if you desire it.
Nope, fine.
All right. And now for these schmucks. Third Brigade headquarters up there. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7. You can. I'm assuming you're not reacting him. If you change your mind, you let me know. And yeah, this guy's gonna go. One, 4, 5, 6. And got a nice big fire base here. And I think we want to keep a guard on it. So I'll leave those guys there. And that ends the operation. Well, do I want to move these guys? 196th. Or these guys from the 25th. I like them there, but these guys from the 196, I do want to move. They're going to go 1, 2. Five. Nah, I'm gonna just leave them there. And that is the operation. Let me end it.
Okay.
Wow, very in depth. So that is what we just saw and it involved like some dense NLF, participation. That's about as complicated as an operation can get in this game.
Yes.
Right? Multi round. You see, I mean, if you just take a look where we started off, we were in Tain Inn, and look where we wandered to.
Yeah, we started off on that mountain hex.
Right. Yeah, you can have some ops where, I mean, we had a lot of dense units going on here, and you were trying to stay in Cambodia.
Yes.
But I've seen combats like go 2, 3 provinces. Like if we were if we look to the right there,
yes,
in the non-playable area, and let's pretend that was like not a unit dense area, you can have a combat that just keeps rolling and rolling and rolling sometimes,
yes.
in the game. All right, so that's that. So over to you.
Yeah, it's interesting to look at that is that I understand the thing about breaking down the regiments and stuff like that, and about the victory points and things like that. But it's kind of I know you say about this living off the land stuff, but if I saw very early in that combat, once the pursuit modifiers are like +5 and
Right.
6 and stuff like that, you go, well, this isn't worth the candle. This is just going to completely wipe out my replacement points. You know,
Yeah.
there's a cut and run thing there to go, okay, well, these guys are effectively destroyed.
They're just not worth it. Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
I actually think you handled it quite well, though, because in this scenario, VC replacement points aren't worth anything for victory points.
Yes, indeed.
So it was best to like keep trying to get away the way you were.
Yes.
Until you were forced basically to spend the victory points.
Yeah.
To answer Jordan's question, yeah, I could, but I would have to pay a victory point cost for invading Cambodia. So what we see occurring, so in the game, if you it's too hard to tell what your units are, but let me see. If you zoom into that free fire marker there, Alan, like make it as big as you can.
I am zoomed in.
Yeah.
Am I zoomed in, Max? I think I am. Yes, I am zoomed in, Max. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the solid red lines are what they call, it's just international border. It's the Cambodian border. Okay. So the furthest without invading a U.S. unit can go is like where these guys are sitting on the border.
Yes.
The furthest you can go, this dashed line over here.
Yeah, I was highlighting the dash.
You can go one hex away from a dashed border hex. So I could go, like in this case of this border hex, I could go here. So that's just as far in as I can go. In this, where's that guy? Where were you? 3150, 3250 maybe? Yeah, that's what it looks like. Sorry, I gotta figure out where that guy was in the first place.
I might be able to check that. Hold on.
Just scroll up and see where I say it says he's moving, but because if I move him again, I'm just going to keep.
Oh, I see. Right. Yeah.
Never mind. I'll check.
Sorry, I was going to look.
He was in 2952. All right, 2952. Yeah. See, I put him in the right spot. What do you know about that? So, good for me. So, in the scenarios, which is different from the main game, in the campaign game, there is a cost in terms of U.S. morale to invade Cambodia or Laos.
Yeah.
You know, and moving beyond those limits constitutes an invasion. Once you do that, you've just invaded. You know, that's just where it's at. In this, some of the scenarios specifically say the U.S. cannot invade Cambodia or Laos or whatever. Yeah. You know, they just rule it out. This one, there is no such restriction. But if I did it, the base cost of me doing that is 10 victory points. So if I invade Cambodia, yeah, I can do it, but I'll take a 10 victory point deficit. I didn't do it because I didn't feel the light was worth the candle.
No.
You know, 10 victory points. Yeah, I could keep attacking those guys and I could grind them down, but at best I'd break even. You know, breaking them down and doing all the casualties and whatnot. So, you know, I was happy to be like, yeah, you know, I did a lot of damage. Now let me go back. But that's the long answer to your question there, Jordan. Is you can, but there's a cost. And in the scenarios, it's in terms of victory points. In the campaign game, it's U.S. morale gets decreased. And then there's another modifier for staying in Cambodia. You know, so a lesser one.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, a thing for it. So if we go all the way up to the north of the map, we'll also see that there's a bit of North Vietnam on the map, and the U.S. can never invade North Vietnam. So what that means is the most the U.S. can do is get on those border hexes and can still attack someone adjacent. You know, but that's as far as you can kind of push your luck in terms of getting into North Vietnam. So over to you. It is your choice.
Right.
So in Jordan, in this scenario, 10 VPs is a big deal. If you look right now,
Yeah.
I've got, just from everything we've done, I have 8 and Alan has 6. So I would then go to a -2. And all the scenarios are different, you know, in terms of how they define the victory, but that's a lot of victory points.
Yeah, indeed.
The game scale is seasonal. So there are 2 turns per season. So we're talking like a 6-week period. So you do the morale modifications in the campaign game at the end of every season. So it's a penalty you're going to take for the previous season. So, but it's apples and oranges. You know, in that it's morale, right? Which is, it affects like how much commitment, how much forces you can have in country, etc. You know, when you take a morale loss, you know, I'll say this: the scenario of victory points, because there aren't victory points like this in the campaign, you know, but the victory points serve as the same carrots and sticks that they would if you were playing a campaign game, which is why I like the scenarios. You know, the same behaviors are rewarded. It's just they're far more, you know, these are operational situations, you know, that we're dealing with.
Okay. So I'm just calculating here, so give me a minute.
Sure.
Okay, so I am going to do an operation.
All right.
I'm going to activate.
Anything damaging or a strategic move?
Strategic move, yeah.
Okay, all right.
So I will activate this guy, and I will activate.
It's an interesting question, Simo. There is a monsoon season, and what it affects at this scale in the game is air. So in the campaign, there's a monsoon season that reduces air and air mobile for the U.S. by 25%. Karp in the design did the best he could. It's actually, when you really get into the details, in Vietnam, in South Vietnam itself, there are different monsoon seasons depending on where you are in the country, because South Vietnam itself straddles the northern and southern monsoon zone in Southeast Asia. So that, like, you get monsoon in different parts of the country in different seasons. So what Karp did for ease of play was say, hey, in the spring season, all your air is reduced by air, and air mobile for the US is reduced by 25%. That's the practical in-game effect. You know, because of the scale we're talking about.
Right, so this guy's going to move here. 2, 4, 7, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oops. Moved the wrong guy, sorry. Active guy. Okay. And this guy is going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And I'll end the operation there.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. And
Do you want to do anything else, or
thank
you
you.
good?
Thank you.
All right. You may think it at your leisure.
No, you can do one. Yeah.
All right. We are going. I have a lot of stuff left. Activate this guy. This guy. This guy. This guy. This guy. Let's see here. Can he walk there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If he can. And we are going to do a search and destroy. I'm going to target these guys.
Okay.
And not going to roll for Rangers. These guys are inherently air mobile, and they are going to go half 1, half 2, half 3, 4.5. And then it's going to cost 7.5 to land there. 2 adjacent to you, and I got to leave your Zoc to get there. And these guys were just trying to straighten out. There. And these guys are going to probably go there. Yep. And we're going to take these guys, and they are going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All that walking. And then these guys are going to half 1, half 2, half 3, and a half. And
Still got the guys in front. Yeah.
I haven't used any air, and I still have some air mobile left. So I got some stuff I can do, but taking some casualties though. So either I'm really lucky or I'm really stupid, but I'm guessing I'm going to do an attack now with everything that I got. So you may make an alert roll.
Okay. A 4, which means a 6.
All right. Right. So I'm going to guess that's the supply conduit.
Okay.
Is the guess that I'm making, which means he won't be able to alert out of the hex.
Right.
So, but if he does, then I'm wrong. So you may run.
going to run.
All right. You may move 6 hexes.
So that's 3 to get to there.
Uh-huh.
And
6 movement points, actually.
yeah. But you're now no longer adjacent to me, are you? So
correct.
So I don't.
You can stay right there.
Yeah, and that's the operation.
All right. So that ends it.
Yeah.
That's that.
Okay.
And back over to you.
Right. So, I think I will do an operation.
All the roads in this game, Simo, are basically main routes. Paved roads, 2-way, you know, main supply routes. There's a whole God, I could probably give a lecture about road types and their designations in Vietnam at this point, and what they meant, whatever. But essentially, when you see road here, it's at least a 2-lane paved road. So yeah.
So I'm going to activate this guy.
All right.
For a strategic movement. And he's going to go 1 marshes 3, is it?
Yep.
Marshes 3, okay. 4. 8, I think.
Yep.
And we'll stop there. Then.
All right. I get a reaction move.
Yes, you do. Sorry. Yes.
And this guy's going to go 5 to there.
Okay. So, I'm going to do another activation, and I'm going to do a search and destroy, I think.
Okay.
I'm going to activate this guy. I'm going to activate this guy. This guy will move.
Target the hex first.
Oh yeah, target hex, sorry. Target hex. I haven't done this before, so target hex. So I hit the target hex button.
No, you go to, you hit the target hex button and it says operations markers. And the first thing is option is the target hex, which you can pull out like that.
Oh, okay. Sorry, right. So that's the target hex there.
All right, so now I can do support. Let's see here. What do we have in range? 2. All right, so we got 175s in range. I feel good about that. But I think we're going to throw in. How much air do I have? And what kind of, are we a free fire here or not? Let me see. Yeah, we're in Tain In, so it's a free fire zone. So let me, just in case, we're going to throw in 1 air point. a whole air point into this defense.
Okay.
Let me find the little thingy. Boop. And now you may move.
Okay. So 2 to there. 3 to there.
All right. Are you? Let me know when you're done moving.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
think that's 4, 5, 6 to there.
All right.
I'm done moving with that guy.
All right. So hold on. Do that move again because it's that getting inside the hex is the tough part. So let me. All right. So do your move. Do your move, and we'll count it. We'll count it out.
2.
2. Right.
3.
3. And then it's going to cost you 2 to leave that hex.
Yep.
And I am in. Yep. Cultivated. So it'll be 6.
Yeah.
For your movement for that hex. So go ahead.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
And you're done moving, and I get a reaction.
You do.
And these guys are going to go join in the defensive Tainin.
Right. Now, on the VPs,
Right.
it says for each capital or major city entered at any point during the scenario. Do I count as entered now?
No.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
No.
Right.
No.
Because I certainly just entered it. Oh.
Because it's occupied.
Right. Okay. All right.
What happens is if you make me retreat, okay?
Yes.
Then you put a captured capital marker on it, and that suffices as entered. Yes.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to do this, you don't have to.
No, let's do it for interest's sake anyway. But
all right.
But yeah, using the term entered is probably not a good term to use then if you enter that hex and it doesn't count.
Well, let's see what he says. Anyway. Yeah, they don't. The game in the context of the rules, like if you had read the rules, you would have said, "Oh yeah, that doesn't matter."
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I just read the list of picture points. Anyway, okay, that's fine. And this guy will move to there, and you get reaction.
Let's see. This guy, I do want to react with, but the other guy, I don't. So this guy's going to air mobilize. And he is going to go. One and a half, 2 and a half, 3 and a half, 4 and a half, 5. And a half. And that's that. He's just going to react up that way. And the other guy on patrol is not leaving patrol. He's staying put where he is.
Okay.
And that's that.
Right. Okay. So
you may declare your attack.
Okay. Right.
Which means flipping your guys,
Yep. Sorry, I was just looking at the process here. Right. So okay. So we have this guy.
Regiment, 272nd. Which is a bit of a historical. 2 regiments. Okay. So you are attacking with, so let's start with this. You've got 16 and you are attacking 6 ground.
Yeah. hang on. I've got
And
more than
then,
that. I have more than that.
oh, all right. You have a headquarters in range?
I do.
All right. So it's got to be the guy sitting on the Cambodian border.
It is, indeed.
Yeah. So flip
that's,
him.
okay, right. I'll go down. Right.
Right. All right. So here we go. So you are attacking with 20.
Yes.
Let's just do that first.
Okay.
I am defending with 6, but I also get the 2 Arvin
8.
For the capital. So that's going to be 8 ground.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have these guys in range.
Yep.
So that's 18. And then I have the 1 air point. So that is 19. So I'm defending with 19 against your 20. So this is a 1-to-1.
Mm-hmm.
So we pull up the combat board.
Yep.
Do end operation because this is a brand new one. All right.
Yep.
And your attacker strength, you're attacking with everybody, obviously,
Yes.
is going to be 16
Mm-hmm.
plus that 11 is 27. So that's
Yep.
going to put you here.
Yep.
And then my defender's strength is going to be the 6 because you don't count the RF for that, but it's plus your 4, 8. So that so you've got 8 firepower with my 6 is going to put me on the 14, which is kind of high.
Yes.
For a defender. And this is a 1-to-1.
Mm-hmm.
And we are in a provincial capital.
Yep.
And there is air.
Mm-hmm.
There is air mobile because I air mobilized some guys. Well, actually, the reaction moves don't count. There is I repeat, no air mobile. And it is round 1, which matters here because you won't get any pursuit result for the first round. Okay. Boom. Because it's urban combat. Mm-hmm. And we roll and resolve.
Okay.
All right. That's not good for you. So
okay. Right.
We place pursuit. Decrease it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to hurt you. There's a defender loss, so I'm going to take that with Arvin. I don't want to lose any victory points.
No.
Boop. Although Arvin's starting to run a little thin. And then you have to lose 3.
Right.
You have no VC replacement points.
No, so I have to break down.
You got to break down one of those 2 guys.
Yeah, so it'll be this guy.
All right, it's the 272nd Regiment. It's an interesting historical fact. It's one of the few, I'll talk about OOB at a later date. And then I got some, when we get done with our turn, I don't mind talking live about it. A little project I'm working on based on what we're doing right here. Mm-hmm. The 272nd was actually part of the 9th Division. But it was really hard. Like I always say, when Nick Karp designed this game, it was like 1983. So he didn't have access to a lot of records. So there are references to 272nd Regiment, whatever. So he made them an independent, but it should really be 272/9. And he could have chosen different regiment numbers for some of those divisional identifications. But that's cool. So yeah, you did it. So you need to lose 3, right? So 2, and that's it. So send those to the Deadpool.
Yeah.
And then the regiment to the Deadpool. And I'm going to get 3 more victory points for the regiment breaking down. 1, 2, 3. And then 2 for those 2 battalions. So I'm up to 13 here.
Yeah.
All right. Now for the bad news. You're in the hex with me.
Yes.
Which means those guys at least have to attack.
Yes.
Now, here's an interesting consideration. You could leave the other regiments out of the attack and not contribute, but it means that their firepower won't be contributed to the attack from the division.
Yeah.
So that's up to you. Because, yeah. It's the problem. It's that what you did. It's the dangerous thing of moving in.
Yeah, sure. I suppose leaving was into the spot, I suppose. But Yeah.
I did give you a complete Bogart from this
No. I know. I said, well, let's just get on with it because I thought it was quite a nicely formed attack, but yeah, obviously not. Yeah, so I just leave this guy on his own, basically. Yeah.
All right, so flip him over.
Because I'm not even going to be 1-to-1 now. So it's mind you.
Right, I flip that guy over. I can't see him. Right.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so he's all right. So combat board.
Yeah, hang on, I'm still thinking. So I would be. Let's see, 15, 2 to 3. You'd be 6. Yeah, no, it's not worth it. Okay, yeah, carry on. It's just that guy.
All right, so that's 3,
Mm-hmm.
and you're attacking. I got 18, so it's a 1 to 6. It's a 1 to bajillion.
Yeah,
You're 2
yeah.
attacking plus the 11 firepower,
Mm-hmm.
which is going to make this 13.
Yeah,
And I am defending with 6 ground profile. I don't have a choice because I didn't want to retreat.
mm-hmm.
So I am now here.
Yeah,
Cool thing is I can take the losses as Arvin, but it's a 1 to 5, which is
yeah.
horrific. And then we're in what do you call it? Provincial capital, which is -1.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got a pursuit mod of negative, which
Yeah,
does stick with you on the
yeah.
attack.
Even
But
though the guy's
actually,
got a +1.
yeah, so I see I clicked it again.
Mm.
So anytime you do a modifier in this, just in Vassal, it does away with the previous one if you
Right.
changed it, right?
Okay.
So you're actually at 0, which is
Yeah.
good.
Well.
And there is air,
Yeah.
and it's not round 1 anymore. And here we go. All right, so not that bad,
Mm.
but you rolled about as good as you could roll. You rolled a
Yeah.
6, right?
Yes.
And so you only took 1 loss.
Yes.
But you've got a pursuit of -1, which will leave there, which means you
Yeah.
can't leave the hex.
Yes.
So I would kill that guy and take a
Yes.
rebate.
Yes. I can't
Yeah,
disperse
yeah.
now, as I'm not the defender, presumably.
No, that's how you would have to take the loss.
Oh,
So
okay.
that guy, he dies, but
Yes.
you get 1 replacement point back.
Yeah. Sensitive point.
I get another victory
1
point,
replace.
and then but you get what move up. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Now I will put that there. And now the question is, do you want to keep attacking? Which you don't,
No.
obviously.
Yeah.
Right. So that's going to end the operation.
Indeed.
Just hide your guys.
Okay.
That's it.
Done. And the last thing. Oh, I will do another operation,
All right.
which I will activate this guy and this guy for strategic movement, and I'll move him to 6. Move him to 4. That's it. Okay. End operation. And back to you.
All right. We are going to decline.
Okay.
So that's going to end the turn.
Yep.
And so now we go in turn. And this is we now move to turn 3
Indeed.
of the 3 turns that constitute this scenario.
Yeah.
Oh, and yeah, and everybody you have to hit the end turn button. That'll do it for you.
Oh, I can do it. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had forgotten about that. It's like a 2 key turn thing. And notice now, all your ops complete guys aren't.
No, it's
fine.
true. Yeah.
Yeah, and let me move this back. All right, to there. Okay. So now we go back to the very beginning, and we start off with support. All right, support's is what it is.
Yeah.
And being tracked assiduously, and so then we go to the nobody gets any reinforcements this turn.
No.
So now we go to the I believe it's special ops first, and then it's special strategic movement. Let me check. It is indeed special operations. So I choose who goes on hold or patrol first, and then you go second.
Yes.
So we are gonna go. Yep, this guy we want on patrol. And we want this guy on patrol. This guy on patrol. And double check that. Yeah, we want him on patrol. And then we want this guy on patrol. And we're here. This guy on patrol. This guy on patrol. That's what patrol can be for the US can be, is a very handy way to like bracket up zones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cut the battlefield in half.
Yes, indeed.
And I think I am done with my patrols. So over to you if you want to put anybody on patrol or hold, as the case may be.
Yeah. So I think I'll put this guy on patrol. And this guy on patrol.
Okay, so now we go to the strategic movement, security ops, and I don't see anybody who's a real tasty target for security operations. So
No.
I will I will not do that. So we go straight into the operations phase. And
So, right, I'll do an operation, which will be strategic move, and it will be activating that guy and that guy, and
yes, their intelligence identification is problematic. Yeah,
yes,
exactly. Yeah.
well, they yes, they're now a target. So, so this guy move 1, 2, 3, 4. This guy move 3, 4, 5. That's probably good enough. I think you can get at him from there. This is all solid border. Yeah, okay. So we'll end operation. And over to you.
Alrighty then. Oh, I gotta. You know what I did forget to do with the support is just move these back. The air points here. All right, there we go. All right, so let's see. I know what he is. I know what he is, and I know what he is, and I know what he is. Pretty sure. So I think we want to do a search and destroy. And we're going to activate this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. No, not that guy. And 1/2, 2/2, 3. Yeah, we'll just do it like that. And this guy. And here we go. So do I want any? No, I think I want some air. I don't want to free fire. I can afford it, victory point wise. Nah, it's just not worth it. We're going to throw in a good 5. Yes, that would be 15. We're going to go heavy. We're going to throw in a good, yeah, 5 air points. All right. Here we go. And the target is going to be this guy. And here we go. So this guy is going to walk into the hex. This guy is going to go 1, 2. And the artillery is going to go half one, half one, half two, half three, half. Close enough for government work. And this guy way over here is going to go half one, half two, half three, half four. That little piece of Cambodia, half five. And a half, 7.5, and land there.
Okay.
And we are going to use, is that where we want it? Where do we think is the most? I don't know if I want to move that guy that far. I think that's the most utility laden location. Is that? I think Kuchi's where I want him. Yeah. Two. It's gonna. Let's see here. One, two, three. Two. Yeah. That's where I want. That's where I want it. All right. So we are gonna use. Three. Which is gonna be 6. We're gonna interdict you for 1. And that's going to be 6 coming out of that arty. I'll leave him with 4. And you may try an alert.
Okay. 2. Unlike
2. That's 3. You're not leaving. So the question is, what do you want to do?
I am going to disperse.
All right. So you flip him. All right. He goes to the dead pool. I get a victory point. You get a replacement point.
Yeah.
That thus endeth that operation.
Okay. Okay. Off you go again.
All right. So we are going to decline. And that's going to end the turn. So,
Okay.
yep. So at the end of this turn, I get 3 victory points for having cleared Hanagia.
Yeah.
Which is going to give me 3 more. 18. So we look at the scenario and it says, I believe, what is it? I subtract something from something. So let's do that. But I got to look at that intro part. By adding up the number of victory points each player has and subtracting the US total from the NLF total.
Yes.
So I have 18 and you have 6. So that's 12 is the number. Positive 12. And so we look at the scenario. Rules. And when I find it, 5 or kind of screwed that up. So
Well, you're minus 8 or 12 or whatever, aren't you?
right, yeah,
Minus 12,
yeah, right. So that's a U.S. victory. Yay! All right.
Indeed.
So the yeah, I think you learned a lot. I think you learned more about how to play this game in this than you did in Master White Wing.
Potentially, yeah. I suppose because at least there was 2 attacks in it, which there wasn't in
Right.
the one we didn't do for the live stream. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah, which was more just a cat and mouse, really. Yeah.
This
So,
scenario calls for a lot more. There's a lot more going on, for both sides and stuff like that.
yes.
I it So just as an aside, it's funny. I think offline after we played the last session, I said I'm not going to do it. I kind of made the decision this week where I'm going to do a historical variant of this scenario. Having
Yeah, yeah,
researched
yeah.
this to death,
Mm,
and just basically rewrite this scenario,
yes.
and I'll change some. The limits I gave myself were I have no problem changing units and even unit values. So there'll be a revamped. I've already talked to my vassal people, like a revamped 11th ACR just for this scenario. Yeah, which doesn't
Yeah.
show up here, but was
Mm,
there. But it's I'm kind of working on it now. The having done Warzone C, rather than have you, where was your supply conduit, by the way?
it was here.
Yeah, that idea of trying to get the NLF player to attack,
Yeah.
or at least maintain a presence in one of those provinces. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Well,
I
I was quite amazed. This was the one turn that I didn't have one thing in one province. It was like one province scored the victory points. I was thinking it was going to be a hell of a thing not to lose a load of victory points per turn for it.
yeah.
But
I thought you played quite well. If you hadn't have done that last attack,
yeah,
I think
I
you'd be in much better stead, right?
yeah, I think I
And
would once I got the replacement points down to 0, I effectively couldn't do anything, and I thought, well, I was going to set up for this attack, but I'm thinking, well, when you start sort of clearing up the battalions anyway, it's not going to be this isn't going to be a win or a draw anyway. So I thought, well, let's explore it, but didn't really need to roll a 1.
yeah,
That
yeah,
was
the
nicely timed there. That was
Carpad, arriving with some reinforcements, you had to throw that in there, and it's just merely because it's the only thing in the game he has that's a mechanism that reflects in enhanced supply infrastructure.
yeah.
What I'm looking to in a normal offensive, like if in the campaign game, if the NLF player is conducting an offensive, right,
Yes.
you would reduce U.S. morale by 1 for every 3 attacks you did. Now they could be shitty attacks,
Yes.
like 1 to 5s.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. The attack number goes up.
Yes.
So for this scenario, I'm exploring a special rule mechanism, like where, don't be wrong, most of the victory point awards would look the same that you've seen already.
Yeah.
U.S. forces at start will be slightly net increased, I would say, by about a division. NLF forces, all the stuff you got as reinforcements would already be available.
Yeah.
And roughly speaking, and there would also be more reinforcements in terms of like a regiment and some more battalions later. The other thing I'm going to do is play with the mechanic because I'm going to play test it with a friend of mine, where the NLF is on a limited offensive. So any attack in which a regiment-sized element or the 9th Division headquarters participates in counts as an attack, like in an offensive. And then the total number you get divided by 3 will add to your victory points.
Yeah.
So it's so it's a limited offensive. It's not like in a normal offensive. Imagine everything that you have on this map, right?
Yeah.
And you would be just doing all these attacks, even at the expense of destroying the unit. Sometimes it's your call.
Yeah.
Sure. But it'll thin out your presence. Here, it's not quite like that. So just attacking and Cosvin's instructions for the offensive that led to Attleboro wasn't everybody out here kill attack at all costs. That that was not the order. But the idea was to use the regiments. You know what I mean, and inflict damage on the Americans or the Arvin. So
indeed.
it gives you an incentive to pull off some good attacks. So you could always have a battalion supporting a regiment, while attacking.
Yes.
But and the way it works in the game is every round of an attack counts as an attack.
Yes.
When you're using that mechanism. So
and I think what yes, an NLF player needs to understand is those regiments are rubbish in defence. You should only really use them for an attack. And I kind of had the right idea. It was like the last thing I'll do on one turn is attack with the regiments, and then at the beginning of the next turn I'll get them the hell out of there so that they don't have to be lumped on. So I mean, the thing that kind of actually tipped the whole thing, I thought, was that I had a regiment sitting on the mountain in Tain Inn, and then you attacked it, and then, well, all hell breaks loose kind of thing, because it's a regiment rather than one of these little battalions. So it's so back in the Masher White Wing thing we did, I was effectively protecting. I was kind of doing what I should do with the regiments, whereas here I was trying to use them and came a cropper. Well,
yeah,
again,
I also think you got limited experience in that scenario because you weren't called on to attack at all.
No, indeed.
And we never really got into combats with VC regiments. There was a little bit of NVA.
Yes.
So I think you learned a lot. You learned a lot of lessons from attack. You're going to learn.
Yes.
What works. It's one of the big general concepts of this game that inspired me for Hot Dry Season, because I mean, it's a completely different system, right? But the idea of, as you start playing this out, you realize that you're operating two different armies. They work differently.
Yeah.
Like how I would want to plot out doing an attack with the U.S. in this game is very different than how I would want to plot out doing it with the NLF.
Of course, absolutely.
Right, or how I'm going to situate my defense. Think about defense in terms of the U.S. is very different than how I think about it in terms of the NLF. So you're sharing a combat system and stuff, but because of the special abilities and just organic things like how much firepower you have and all that sort of stuff, they're just you really got the feeling from this game, over my years of loving it, right? That like the real war itself, you've got these very different military mechanisms going against each other. Much differently than say, the Germans attacking the French in 1940. You know what I mean? They're the way they're operating is just very, very different. So I thought you really only made two mistakes in the whole game, to be honest with you. One was that the last attack, which you shouldn't have done.
I knew that this little game was up anyway. I thought I'm not going to win. So,
you should have taken the mulligan. But the other thing was when I attacked that regiment, which will happen. There's no problem with having a regiment out there. And they can serve as like a very nasty surprise for the U.S. player who thinks, who might think he's attacking a battalion but is attacking a regiment. Two, it then forces me to, because how it started was like that. Then I had to go in and use a bunch of offensive reserves to bail out the attack. I did not have a good attack. I think the mistake you made was throwing that second regiment in there.
Yeah.
I think you would have been better off fighting it out, trying to get to Cambodia, and then eventually you could have broken down.
Indeed.
If you so desired. But
and I should have when I got to the border, I should have gone. I went up to the border, where what I should have done is I should have gone left. I should have headed towards the cultivated, because that the dotted border was the kind of thing that just
you could have kept.
I was just in a corner.
You could have kept retreating west or southwest, and exactly, gotten into the Parrot's Beak.
Yes.
There in Cambodia, which is tactical, but a bigger. I think upping the ante for the combat was not a good idea.
No.
Exactly. And it kind of reflects, but it does a good job of reflecting the war that way, right? So what the U.S. wants is like, throw in regiments, fight me, stand up.
Yes.
Right? And the NLF, there are some times where that's okay, and sometimes you're like, I don't want to do that. I'm fighting your, and it's that those I'm fighting your kind. The NLF is almost saying to the U.S., I'm fighting your kind of war now, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Part of the goal here, but if you just look at this combat system as we're laying out, now imagine, let me flip this guy over, let me augment him. Let's pretend it's late war. You don't have a whole lot of those VC, and you're fighting like the ARVN and a small number of US.
Yes.
This all of a sudden becomes a very different combat system between the bug hunting,
Yes.
coin stuff. Where are you? But a multi-round, firepower intensive representation of modern combat that is, like I said, is one of the best I've ever seen at this scale. Whereas most games that try it, OCS has dabbled, not quite. They've wisely stuck with Korea. Other game systems, SCS, they tend to like show their holes as being basically a World War II system that's been juiced up. Whereas here you get that mobile feel, all those pursuits, and the retreats and the reserves and all that stuff, becomes really interesting. In a mouse game. So any more questions in there? Nope. Nope. I think we've done it.
I've entertained enough, and it probably ended quite abruptly there. For everybody, but it's an intense, interesting system. And
for the scenario, it can lead to that where, okay, I've got my lead. Let me just win the game, right? Yeah. Why take any losses? That mechanism, though, in the seasons is very interesting. So you're doing ongoing operations, and it's like, the NLF is always like, do I want to take the risk that the U.S. player is going to decline? If I'm not going to operate, and at certain times, well, he's got to operate. He has no choice. But the U.S. can sometimes pull off a really neat thing by like, I don't want to do anything. Bump.
Double negative, and there we go.
Cool. So all right, well,
wonderful.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thank you for popping through. And if you've seen the whole thing, well done. Thanks for persevering. And so we'll myself and Pat will toddle off and see what else we can come up with for your delectation. And but anyway, that's the end of what was it called? Cedar Falls and Attleboro. So,
it's the Warzone C scenario. Yep.
Yes, indeed. Always forget that Warzone C bit. But yeah, one thing I was very happy about is I seem to be able to have kept all my political sections, which was quite good. I used them probably not as well in my first run through, and this one I kept them kind of hidden but useful. Which is, I think, what you need to do. And the supply conduit, which, that was kind of the turn. I thought, oh my god, the hell am I going to do with that? But yeah, that's still there. Still, anyway, thanks everybody for watching, and we'll back. Definitely there'll be something going on with Jordan, who hopefully he's still listening, for PQ17 on Tuesday. It's Tuesday, but we'll have a think our end, myself and Pat, and come up with the next thing for you. Should be announced on Twitter and on the channel. So anyway, last word to you, Pat.
Last word. Goodbye, everybody.
Cheers. Okay.
I think you're playing the game